director, if there were any communications from the applicant?
The only communication was that they are getting ready to file for site plan review. They are putting finishing touches with the engineer, and they plan to file site plan review imminently. And they're going to explain the rest at the continued hearing on September 23rd.
Okay, so they'll be on the docket for the next meeting.
They said they'll be ready to talk about the progress and have an engineer, and hopefully have an engineer present, have the engineer present.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, just some further discussion on that. You know, in reviewing the minutes from this original case or application, you know, the check-in purpose was for not only the neighbors, for us as well, to see how, you know, the project had progressed. Clearly, there hasn't even been a shovel in the ground yet, so I would be looking for some kind of explanation on why the delay, because, you know, we pushed this out 9 months and nothing's happened. So although I see you know, we'll continue them till September 23rd, my feeling is that we should have another 9-month check-in or even further from that date, because nothing's happened at the site where the neighbors could chime in or this board. So I will make a motion, however, to continue this to our September 23rd session.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. The next case?
Our next case is 79 Brad Street Avenue, zoned R2. Request for a variance under Table 2 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to build an addition 15.3 feet from the property line along Kimball Avenue, where 22.3 feet, which is a street averaging, is required. Request is made by Jeremy and Margaret Mitten, docket 24-5081.
Good evening, everyone. We are Jeremy and Meg Mitten. We purchased 79 Brad Street back in May. We are both lifelong Beverly residents, but we're excited to become Danvers residents. Our house was actually right down the other end of Bridge Street, so we're familiar with the neighborhood. We were Ryleside neighborhood. So we sold that house back in 21. We've been looking ever since. We found this house with so much potential, so we were thrilled. We worked with a local architect, Scott Golden. You have our proposed plans. We knew that we wanted to preserve the existing original house. We wanted to keep the driveway on the Kimball side, and we also wanted to move the entry to the Kimball side. We were hoping to have the quieter street for our small children. Due to said small children, we need a little more space than the existing house offers. So we did still want to keep the same general kind of footprint and orientation. That there's the detached, falling down garage that's there now, but we wanted to kind of keep that same layout somewhat. But we do have this kind of unique corner lot with the street layout there, where there is quite a bit more space beyond the property line to the street. It's about another 25 feet from the 15 feet we're asking. So that is kind of the proposed additions that we're looking for to have the variance.
Okay, thank you. Jeff, any questions?
I don't have any questions at this time, Madam Chairman, thank you.
Ken?
Thank you. I just keep looking at this garage, and I'm saying to myself, did you ever consider pushing that back? You have so much room behind this. You've got 115 feet to the northern lot line. Mm-hmm. And was there any consideration into that?
Yes, definitely, we did. We worked with the architect to try our hardest to have it within the setbacks, but we kind of, the way the garage ended up being was partially because we were hoping to keep the feet of asphalt down and have more grass, and then also to kind of extend the existing house, the line of that, just like to be more aesthetically pleasing instead of having the garage pushed back.
I guess I have no further questions. Thanks.
Ken?
I have no questions.
John?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I kind of, on what Ken was asking, I don't understand the tilt in the garage and why, why can't that be straightened? I guess the tilt looks odd to me, so, and it's almost the same question as Ken. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity to perhaps maybe not meet the 22.3, is that what the average came out to? But it certainly seems like if the tilt was not there and the garage was set back slightly, it could come closer to the 22.3.
Yes.
I guess, so to sum it up, why the tilt?
We
Why-
were trying to follow the property line with the orientation of that, to try to help that corner be further from the property line. Noted about that, it could go back. It was just kind of working with the architect and the layout, tying into that existing house and kind of keeping in line, somewhat in line with the existing house. We sort of
Well, you have a room, it looks like,
And then just to add to that, if I could.
Sure.
So, from the interior perspective, the further back the garage goes, kind of like the less natural light we're gonna get on that side. So we were kind of trying to keep it so that we could have natural light coming in from both ends of the addition. And so that the access from the garage would make more sense with the access from the living room that will be there.
okay, so the room between the main house and the garage, that's a breezeway or a conditioned space? It'll be heated,
It will be living.
Be part of the living
area.
space, okay. Is there a curb cut already on Kimball Ave for a driveway there?
Don't know that there's a curb.
There's no curb.
No, there's no curb,
No
but there
curb.
is an existing driveway.
Okay.
Asphalt.
And this is more just, and part of my site visit. When did you purchase the house?
May 24th,
How long has the TV been sitting out in the front yard?
probably since May 26th.
Well, I would think that would be something you'd want to get, I mean, I know the house is probably an eyesore to all your neighbors.
Yes.
And I don't think the TV seems something that could be easily taken care
Sure,
of without a
apologies
contractor,
for that.
right?
Yeah, it was
That's
sort of.
So that
fair.
really should
We'll
go
leave
away,
the
but
sticker.
I'll save the rest for,
Comments?
yeah, I guess my last question is just, what would the overall square footage of the house be? Or roughly?
So the proposed new total will be 3203.
Thank you. No
And-
further questions.
Thank you, John. I have a question for Mr. Sekeli. Now that they're going to switch, we kind of discussed this, what would have to happen in order for them to now have like an address on Kimball? Is that something they're going to have to apply for, or?
Yeah, it basically has to go through a couple of departments, most notably the fire department, to make sure that it's extremely clear where, for all life safety activities. So, but yeah, it's pretty much filling out a form and making sure that it makes sense in an emergency.
Okay, all right. And I assume, like, notifying the post office and also the town with regard to mailings and things like that,
Right, so
correct?
it goes through the assessors, the clerks, the fire department, so all those departments get a hand in that.
Okay. Okay. And that makes sense. And even, I know that the garage now needs to be demoed because it's in such disrepair, but there isn't a curb cut, so how before did someone access that garage?
Well, Currently, there's kind of like a crumbly driveway remains that was there.
I don't think there's any curbing on Kimball. There's no
that side
curbing.
of Kimball.
No, but in other words, like, it doesn't have to be a curb cut with like a sidewalk. It can still be just a curb cut where you can, like, drive into your driveway, correct?
Cape Cod berm, just
Right.
Yeah.
right in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
there's no real curb.
Okay. All right. So again, that's something else that, you have to deal with if this is approved. And with regard to the bonus room that's over the garage, I assume there's a set of stairs in the garage that lead up to it, and it's just a bonus room for, like, a rec room or like a family room?
Yes, probably it will be a phase 2 thing when our children get a little bit bigger and want their own space. Since there's no real basement finishing opportunity, that would kind of be our down the line room for them. But there is a set of stairs coming off of that like middle segment that would bring you from the, if you're looking at A2, the mudroom will have a set of stairs in there that's finished to go up to that space.
Okay. Okay, all right, perfect. And when you were discussing the driveway and the fact that you wanted to kind of reduce the amount of impervious surface, did you mean that I guess, the site for where the garage is abuts where that old driveway is and you'll just repave it? Is that what you meant?
It's close. I think she was just speaking to, it would just be that 7 less feet of,
Oh, I
Small.
see, okay.
but it is, I think it's right adjacent. It's very close.
Okay,
We don't have that laid out, but, you can see the existing garage it is overlaid over the existing garage. And then it also shows that there's that big kind of concrete pad that connects it to the house where there's like a chain link fence, like canine enclosure of some kind. But
Okay.
so it is kind of in that same footprint as where the addition would be. So that is, another, it's not permeable there either.
okay. Those are all my questions. Now I would like to go out to the audience.
Madam Chair, before you go to the audience, through you, if I could just ask Brian.
You may.
So Brian, just back to the address thing. This is an application for 79 Brad Street, but clearly they're going to orient this for Kimball Ave. So does the address of 79 Brad Street cease to exist if we vote in favor of this? And
No, it does get filed, tied into the deed.
of
So
79 Brad Street?
Yeah, so it eventually ties back to that address. So because this type of thing actually happens, I
Often.
wouldn't say often, but pretty regularly throughout the years.
But a new address would be created for Kimball Ave?
Correct, and it would tie to 79
To
Brad Street.
79.
So it would be,
Okay.
correct.
Kind
Very
of a
good.
911 thing.
Even, much more complicated than just that, but yes.
Okay, and Madam Chair, if I could ask the applicant one more. So I'm just trying, I'm hung up on the garage because I think there's wiggle room to do something different there, but, so are you saying the existing driveway that's on the property now, albeit repaved or redone or whatever, is at the same angle that this future garage is proposed to be at?
Well, if you look at the site plan, you can kind of see in the gray, light gray, it shows you the existing garage, the detached garage. So it's really next to, is where our proposed garage is. It's,
So it's kind of like a half on, half off kind of thing? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, thank you. No further questions.
I have one other question. So you're completely demoing the garage, and you're using the foundation, and what else from the old house?
we would not be, the whole detached garage and foundation would go, and the concrete pad that I mentioned, that's all coming out.
No,
And then
but,
from the
But we are
existing
using-
house,
yeah, from the existing house, what,
we're gonna be keeping the existing structure as it is. All three of the walls minus the back one, which will be expanded so that we can enter the new addition. So three walls, an attic space, basement, that will all stay.
Okay,
And then also interiorly, the original staircase, and probably there's pine floors that we'll probably keep, but we do need to do new windows, new heating, all of that in the existing structure, and then obviously continue all new to the addition.
okay. Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the board? Okay, we will go out to the audience. Any questions or comments from anyone in the audience? Oh, you have to go to the podium and please provide your name and your address.
Hi, I'm Diane Harris, 7 Kimball Avenue. I just want to say, my original address is 81 Brad Street Avenue, which is right across the street. And I've had numerous problems over the years with that.
I can
But it's a
imagine.
two-family, so we have 2 separate addresses. I do like the design that you chose. I think it's very nice. And, you know, they're very nice people, and I hopefully, you know, everything will work out fine for them.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hi, I'm John Glenn, and that's my wife Sherry. We live at 3 Kimball Ave, and we support this proposal. That's it.
Very nice, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Okay, we will begin deliberations. Back to Jeff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Granting a variance is a pretty high bar. In order to get a variance, you need to prove you have a hardship. And legally, we can't grant that variance unless we identify what that hardship is. If it's a giant boulder in the middle of your lot, or topography, or water problems, or whatever. And that's the problem I see with this application, is I don't see the hardship. You could easily slide the garage back, 6 or 8 feet, and get back some of that, that front setback. Corner lots are always a problem because you have actually 2 front setbacks if you really wanted to comply, and you obviously can't with the existing structure. And I do see there's a lot of room between your lot line and actually the edge of the pavement. So it doesn't look like you're 15 feet away, it looks bigger. But we still have that problem, that legal problem of granting the variance. So I'm a no on this one.
Okay, thank you.
I like the plan, and everybody wants that house cleaned up. And I just think you have a little bit of a legal problem trying to justify the variance. And if we had a little more space to your lot line, I would be all in favor of it.
Ken?
Thank you. I mean, I have to echo what Jeff said. I mean, you're kind of creating your own hardship here. And you kind of got away with an average setback of 22.3 feet, where that's not really what the setback is, but they went by the average, so you kind of lucked out on that. But I think you need to be a little more in compliance with the setback on the garage. So the way this sits, I'm a no. But I do like the overall plan.
Ken?
So I agree with my colleagues. I just think you could shift the proposed garage over, maybe, I don't know if you could do something with those stairs or something, but I think it should try to be square with, I mean, architecturally, if you want to make it that curve or that design, whatever, but it would probably look better if you abut it to the back and make it more square and just shove it over to the right a little bit. But I don't know architecturally if that works, because with the stairs there, I mean, you need to, but in any event, I think that there is probably some other options just to move that away from the setback a little bit, gain a little bit. So I'm a no as it is here.
John?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I think everybody's would be in favor of any project being done on this lot. I commend you for purchasing it and taking it on. With that said, and I do like the look, but I have to agree with my fellow board members. I believe there's room to do something different here. I don't like the tilt in the garage. I'd like to see it squared up with the rest of the house, but I do feel like, you know, to echo what Jeff said, I just don't see a hardship. I think you have land in the back, and it's not like there's a big tree you're trying to save, or there's a big piece of granite in the way. And I feel like the garage could go back to, you know, somewhere in the ballpark. I'm not saying maybe the 22.3 for me personally, but I do feel like you could meet the 22.3. And I guess I'd have to ask, if they did meet the 22.3, is a variance required at all?
No, it
No.
would be by right.
Yeah, so,
But if it's anywhere between, if it's anything less than 22.3,
Yeah, so-
they could come back with a revised plan at a later meeting and do that.
yeah, so just so you guys are clear, and I'm not, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here, it's just.
You may speak. You may speak.
If the garage was at 22.3, you don't have to be before this board, you'd just be pulling permits. So, I'm also a no. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, so you don't have the votes the way it is now, so we could do, I guess, one of three things.
Yep.
We could either take a vote and it's a no, then you can't come back for 2 years, so we know you don't want that. We could continue it, and you can work with the plans and see what you can come up with. Or three, if we can continue it, and then you can go back kind of to the drawing board, and if you can move the garage back so that you're at 22.3, then you wouldn't need a variance at all.
Yeah, we would just
Could
ask for a
I
withdrawal.
just ask a question too? Only because I hear you and we can work on it, but there's two other points that also don't meet the setback. So I'm just wondering if the board feels favorable on those numbers, and then we can just rework the garage with the architect, or if we should be needing to rework the whole plan.
The 19.7, the
Yeah.
corner of the addition is kind of like,
So that
it'd
would
be
a
tough to
fine-
work with the
That would
layout
be-
of the
Yeah, Madam
existing.
Chair, I think that members of the boards would, if it was no worse than the existing condition, if you made the garage 19.7, I would be happy with that.
But just a point of emphasis, Madam Chair, the 19.7 is
The
not the
addition.
current structure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, the 19.7
Oh, that's true.
isn't
It's
the
already the
current.
current structure.
That's true, so
Right.
you'd have to pull that corner back too, in order not to be here at all.
Right, so I think, well, anyway, Madam Chair, I'll let you speak.
Well, again, so you have your three options.
Yeah.
It's probably best at this time for you to continue, and we'll pick a date in the future when you think you would have revised plans. And during that time, you can work with your architect and see if maybe you want to move everything back, because you do have a big piece of property here, where you could easily, I think, move it back. So see what you can come up with, and if you can revise your plans and everything is at least 22.3, which is a gift that you get to average it out, then you could discontinue this, right?
Well,
could-
you wouldn't even have to come back
You
before
wouldn't have to come
us.
back.
Right.
But if you decide that.
Hold on, sorry to interrupt.
ahead.
But they still are, there's a new portion of the proposed house that's 19.7.
Correct.
They know that.
Yeah,
It
so they
all
would-
has to be that.
Yeah, they would still have to come back even if that didn't move.
Right,
Right.
but another, so.
But if the whole thing
Right,
moved, right.
if you don't want to have to come back, you have to move everything
went
back
back.
to the 22.3
But
If you don't like that, you can just,
What ifs, but if the proposed garage was 19.7,
I think, well, again, I only speak to
it's
me.
another meeting.
Well,
Okay.
it
Well,
would still,
so,
it would
yes.
still be a
To do that
variance,
and come
so
back.
if-
What?
It would still be, so just.
It would still be a
yeah,
variance
It would still be a
at-
variance.
at
so it would still be the
19.7.
same bar.
Understood.
Right.
Yeah.
And again,
But-
everybody loves the plans, we just want you to move it back a little, that's all.
Yeah,
No, I
and
get it. It's-
just, and we totally understand, we're willing to do that. It partially also just, I don't know if we still have time, I know we kind of already went back and forth, but just to connect the existing house, it becomes very awkward the further
Yeah,
you go
you can't move
back.
the existing house.
Right.
Right.
We know
and
that.
So that was part of our problem when we were working through this was how do you connect the existing structure without making it look like we just slapped an addition on it? And so the further back it goes, the more it looks like we just dropped this from the sky on. Yeah. So that was kind of our other reasoning. But we are happy to withdraw and continue.
Well, you wouldn't
Well,
withdraw,
you
you just
wouldn't be
continue.
withdrawing,
Oh,
we're just
good. Thank you
Withdraw
for
means
correcting
you're
me.
saying bye to
Thank
us.
you. Okay, no, don't withdraw.
Just continue.
Just continue.
Madam Chair, well, so the next
So
date
how
is-
much time do you think your architect would need?
Yeah, it's September 23rd is our next meeting.
We'll
And
make quick work of it.
And then the 7th.
Whatever's next meeting.
And then
Yeah.
October 7th.
After that is October 7th, so no, September 23rd or October 7th.
September 23rd, please.
Okay, so you want to continue to the 23rd?
And the plans have to be to us
The Tuesday prior.
Tuesday.
Tuesday
before.
prior, so you really only have about a week.
Madam Chair,
He works fast.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we continue this case till September 23rd.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
We'll have minutes at our next meeting. We don't have minutes this week from our prior meeting, but we'll have those at the next one.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Good luck, and we'll see you in
then.
2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.
Madam Chair, motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Unless
I'm
Brian
sorry,
has something. Do you have
I
anything?
have one
I
more
second.
question.
Okay, please.
Because this is a non-conforming lot currently with the 7-foot front on Brad Street, is there, I guess would like the board's opinion on if this could potentially be a finding versus a variance. And I know, Brian, I think your office said it's variance, not finding, so I don't want to overstep, just asking.
Yeah, no, we made that determination. So it's, if you get anything worse than the existing, but still under 22.3, that's the
variance.
window.
That's the- okay.
Of a finding, is what, from existing to 22.3. Anything beyond 22.3
Kicks you over to variance.
kicks you over to a variance.
Got it. Thank you for clarifying.
And there's an important piece about that. A variance, you need a supermajority, and a finding, you only need a regular majority.
Three votes versus,
3 votes versus 4, so
Okay.
that's the difference.
All right, we will
if you
work
want
on
to
it.
push the
Thank you
envelope,
very
you ought to
much
go
for
for
your
the
time.
finding.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Madam Chair, motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.